Hey guys, Steve, singledadfitdad.com here. Something I want to talk about today. It's kind of a broad topic, but I just want to talk about your quality of life. I want you to think about what you go through every single day, from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed. What does that entail? Yes, I know you've got to do all the things that you have to do, right? So you have to wake up and you have to report to a job and you have to pay your bills and you have to take your lunch break and you have to do all those things. You come home, you're worn out, you have dinner, you take care of your kids, or you play with your kids. Okay, so those are all things that are part of life. But what I'm asking you to think about is the happiness that you have, okay? A couple years ago, I was in a marriage that was really struggling. I was married for 8.5 years. And pretty much from the beginning of the marriage, it was a struggle. Okay, my quality of life wasn't good at all. And I'm not gonna assess any blame. I'm not gonna say that it was her fault. It takes two to have a happy marriage. It takes two to have a bad marriage. We just happened to have a bad marriage. And, we had kids right off the bat. Within a couple months of getting married, she was pregnant. And it was a struggle from that point on. There's just so many factors that went into it, but my quality of life was, on a scale from 1 to 10, about a 2. And it was that way for pretty much the whole marriage. So, looking back now that, I've really gone through a lot of personal growth, I've made a lot of changes. If you've, followed up on my, some of my posts or my blog, or I posted extensively about it on my other personal growth site, endingthegrind.com, about my transition from being a miserable son of a bitch, just hated life. I hated my job. I hated coming home. I had my girls, and that was my one saving grace. But quality of life was horrible. I mean, shitty, really shitty. I'm not complaining. I'm not beating myself up. I'm not feeling sorry for myself. It was my life. I chose it, and a couple years ago, actually the end of 2012, I chose to make a change in my life, and I separated from my wife. I got an apartment and agreed to see my kids only on the weekends, which was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, was give up any time with them. I mean, I consider myself to be a very hands-on dad. I was with them every single night. I would take them out to parks, and I would, give them dinner or give them a bath and put them to bed, and that was my thing. I loved it. So getting used to that was awful. I mean, I spent a lot of time, crying myself to sleep and just being really down on life. But a couple years later now, I've looked back and realized I learned a lot about life and relationships and expectations and a lot about myself. And I gotta be honest. I mean, the quality of life is it. I mean, you got to think about this. We're not getting any younger, right? I'm 43. If you're watching this, you're probably, I'm guessing, in your 30s, 40s, maybe 50s. We're not getting any younger. Okay, what if your life doesn't get any better than this? I know a lot of you guys are grinding it out, because I hear from you every single day. You're miserable, right? You're juggling 20 things. You're getting killed with alimony and child support payments. You're struggling to see your kids. Maybe you're in a legal battle. I mean, a lot of you guys don't have it as easy as I do when it comes to having a relationship with your ex, so that's kind of on an even keel. I mean, we have our issues for sure, but some of you guys I know are dealing with some seriously fucked up shit. So, to keep it all together is a struggle, okay? But, I want you to really look at your quality of life, what you do every day, and I want you to think about your future and how you can change it, okay? I made some huge changes because I couldn't take it anymore. A lot of you guys aren't quite at the breaking point, and maybe you'll never will be, and that's scary. But I need you to think about that, and think about, what if you spend the next 10 years like this? What about the next 20 years like this? Grinding out some shitty-ass job, working out once in a while, feeling like shit, carrying extra weight, eating like shit because you can't get it together, stressed out from life and work and your ex, and, all the bullshit that goes on with that. It's just no way to live. I'm not saying that I'm anything special. I just chose to make a change in my life, a huge change. You know, I left a relationship, I left a marriage, I left the house with the great neighborhood and my family, and I left my job that I had been at for 11 years. I was a financial advisor. We had a really big financial advisory practice, a lot of money coming in, and I walked away from it to go make 40 grand a year running a gym because I loved it, and chose to struggle for, you know, the next year. I was working 12, 14 hours a day just to pay my bills, cover my alimony and child support payments, but it was worth it. You know, that was my decision. I wasn't going to live another day being miserable, wasting my valuable time, and I'm asking you to do the same thing. Okay, you know, look at the bigger picture. Okay, you know, what's it going to be like for you in 5 years or 10 years? Really, I mean, do you want to be 50 years old having the same conversations with yourself in the same situations, still in debt, still overweight, still looking for help, looking for answers, you know, searching the internet for fitness ideas? No, you want to get your fucking shit together now. You have to do it now. Okay, I've done it. I felt like I had to do it. I mean, I really did. I felt like I was going to give myself a fucking heart attack if I didn't make a huge change. And, you know, that's just something that's going to come from within, but I'm asking you to look at that, seriously look at that, and see if it's time for you to make that change. And for a lot of you guys, I know it is. So, you know, I'm happy to help you out. I mean, you can bounce your ideas, your thoughts off of me, and I've been through some shit. But right now, I gotta be honest, I mean, I'm living kind of a dream life here. You know, I'm in a new relationship with a great woman. I'm getting to do what I love every day. I mean, it's, you know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. I'm out here in a field shooting videos. You know, I rode my bike over here. It's beautiful outside. You know, I get to write. I get to help people just like you get fit. And I get to train every day. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, and I never thought it was possible until I made the decision and said, I'm gonna make it possible. And that's what I'm asking you to do. So shoot me an email anytime. I'm happy to talk to you about this stuff. Steve@singledad@fitdad.com. Do it today. Talk to you soon.